Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 59 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. And today we're back at the lathe. We're going to do a little bit of a turning project, and this should make my retirement even lazier than I'd planned. So hang in there, I think you'll be interested. Well, so how do I turn a project that encourages me to be lazy? Well, in our basement, we have two of our older Chesterfields. We took them from our upstairs, moved them to our downstairs when we got new stuff upstairs. This is a number of years ago already. And they're the typical kind of faux leather. They're kind of wore out, and I believe the springs are sagged. And this thing is now about this high off the ground. And to get in and out of it is a little bit of a challenge, let's put it that way, as I advance into my senior years. So I thought, well, I'm not going to get rid of that old thing just because, you know, it's a little inconvenient. And I'm the only one that goes down there anyway, so I'm fine with it. It's comfortable. It's just a little too low. So this is the leg that's on it, and I'm going to replace it with ones of these. So we're looking at about a 4-inch difference in height here, and I think that's going to make the difference. I contemplated going more than that, but I thought that would kind of look silly. So we're going to turn 4 more of these, and that's going to be my project today at the lathe. So it's a very utilitarian project. But what I like about this, and there's a number of advantages to this project, is first of all, I'm turning 5 of them. Yes, 5. It has 3 legs in the front and 2 in the back, or is it the other way around? I'm not sure. But anyway, there are 5 legs I need to turn. This is a wonderful Skew project. Where did my Skew go? Uh-oh. Just a few seconds. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. I should know that. I prepare these things. So it's excellent Skew practice. So you can go back and forth, practicing turning right-handed and left-handed, which I think is important if you want to grow your turning skills. Is it absolutely important that you learn to turn the offhand way for you, whether that's left-handed or right-handed? That's up to you. But I like to be able to turn left-handed. It has been very helpful for me in my career as a teacher. But you can do right-handed, left-handed, short point down, so this way, like this, down, long point leading, as I think it's Richard Graffin that says it that way. That's another thing you can do. Now in this video, I'm not going to get into turning beads and coves and all those things. The Skew is an amazingly versatile tool that is very much underused because people tend to be a little bit scared of it, which is a bit of a concern. But a project like this that you can put between centers, and if I don't get them all exactly like this isn't a terrible hard turn to do. It's just basically sloping. It doesn't matter. They're under the couch. This is a great practice project. So I would encourage you to do stuff like that. Turn your old tool handles. I bet you 100 of these things I've turned in when I was teaching, because I made all the school's tool handles and I made all of mine. And it's a great practice project. They're useful, they have utility, and they're wonderful. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to start between centers. Again, when you look at turning and most things that are done in the shop, there are probably 10 different ways of doing it, and all of them will work. I'm going to start between centers because that's what I like to do. There are a lot of people that would put the chuck on right away and grip it in the jaws, or they'd put a center in the chuck jaws and then do that. I'm going to take, I have it in already. I'm going to take a spur center. This is what came with the lathe, and we're going to start there. You could do this whole leg without a chuck. So if you don't have a turning chuck, that doesn't matter. You can do this project. So what I'm going to do first, before I put this in the lathe, is I'm just going to touch up my skew a little bit. And these little eze-lap diamond hones, I don't know if you can see that properly, eze-lap diamond hone. I actually bought these at the Fishing Hole in Saskatoon because many years ago when I was buying them for school, I realized that they stocked them. But since then, I've discovered that Lee Valley sells these as well. And there's all kinds of people that sell the little credit card style hones. But sometimes going to the grinding wheel isn't always the way that you need to put an edge back on a tool. Here I like my tool to be hollow ground so that the file or the hone is grinding back here and grinding the tip. So there should be a section in the middle where you can see that the diamond hone is not touching. This one is a fine, and I found that to be fine. And it's always a good idea to touch your tools up. That's going to be good for now, and I need to make a way to clip those onto my lathe. Okay, so I am going to put the piece in the lathe. For this, just because I'm a little bit lazy, I'm going to leave my cone center on because I'm going to use this because first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this round. And then I'm going to put a tenon on this end. And then I'm going to drill a hole in this end, 1/4-inch hole, to accept the threaded component. And then I'm going to spin it around and I'm going to turn it. So a couple of operations here. All of them are really, really good practice. I didn't quite get that centered with the cone, but you know what? That is not going to matter. Let's see. Oh, you know another thing that you should maybe do when you're turning with a lathe with the button, in other words, variable speed, when you finish a cut and you're turning, let's say like the last thing I did here is I went from sanding and I put friction polish on here, shallow wax, friction polish, whatever, shallow wax is on here, and I cranked the speed way up. Well, I want to make sure that I turn that down before I start the lathe up again. So I know I can see by my dial that I have. That looks pretty good. And we're just going to give it a little spin. It's about 1400 RPM. I can tell here on my Laguna it shows me the speed. And I'm going to start, like there's a number of ways that you can do this. I'm going to do it pretty much with the skew. The skew and the parting tool are the only tools I think that I'm going to use. I may change my mind as I shoot video, but hey, that's my prerogative. But if you'd want to use your roughing gouge, where is my roughing gouge? Man, oh man, am I disorganized today. Anyway, it's a good thing oh, right here. And then it's right in front of me. And it's right in front of me. So that would be a good way to practice too. You could practice right and left hand with that. If you don't feel comfortable starting with the skew, use the rough and gouge and make it round. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm maybe going to split this into two pieces, and I'll use a little bit of both. So, okay, we're going to get started on this, but I'm going to move you in a little closer because you want to see what I'm doing. You don't want to be that far away. So I'm going to bring you in, and you won't see me, but my melodious voice will be in the background. So I hope you enjoy this. Like I say, using the skew, a lot of people stay away from it. I'd encourage you not to, but stay within your comfort zone. Yes, it's easier to turn when you're going a little faster, but if you don't have control and it's scaring you, slow down. There's no rules for this. In the end, whatever works for you is what works. Okay, I guess there are a few rules, but whatever works for you works for you. So don't be scared. Don't be intimidated. Having fun. That's what this is all about. And that's what, for me, what turning is all about. It's having fun. So I'm going to bring you in a little closer, and we're going to make this round. And we're ready to start. Just another little safety concern. Make sure you always double check to make sure that your piece is tight between centers. Spin it so it clears the tool rest. Make sure that the quill lock is locked, and that should get us going. So I think I'm going to start with the rough and gouge, or I'm not sure even what I'm going to do yet. Maybe I'll just do half with it and half with the skew. Some people, I think, are a little intimidated with taking a skew to something with four corners like this. I got used to doing that when I made my hundreds of tool handles that I made a few years ago, and I got used to doing it, so I'm quite okay with it. But if you're not, use a rough and gouge. So, and away we're going to go. Okay, for this, I'm going to speed up to that's about 1400 RPM. And my safety glasses are on, which are my regular glasses. And we're going to, I don't know if you can see it, but I have my tool handle into my hip. I actually made these handles slightly longer, so it's a little easier to do that. Rough and gouge is a wonderful tool. I've just really started using it later in my turning journey because at school when I set up tools, I thought we'd just rough with the spindle gouge, but whether that was wise or not, I don't know, but it saved us some money. So now I'm going to take my skew. I'm going to go with the short point leading, and I'm going to just be very gentle. Like I'm going to have a good grip on the tool, and when it starts to bounce or chatter a little bit, I'm going to push it into the rest a little harder, and I'm going to be very firm. I want to be turning. My cut needs to take place in the lower half of the tool. Okay, that's important. So anyway, here we go. Oh, came in a little bit too aggressively. you'll notice that I'm moving like this. If you watch how the tool changes relative to the center line of my body, it's not changing because I'm moving my hips. My feet are about shoulder width apart, and I'm moving that way. I'm not moving my arms. Okay, and we're going to go some more. Okay, let's change this up a little bit. Going the other way. Okay, just rub the bevel. You know, it's just important. I think that's maybe one of the problems with the Skew is people are not sure how to start. Just like any other tool, rub the bevel. That way it allows me to touch the wood safely. Now I'm just raising the handle until it makes contact. I'm going to switch back, rub the bevel. Okay, let's see where we're at. Oh, we're still a little bit rough. Okay, I'm going to clean this off really quickly. Yeah, we still got a little ways to go here. Okay, I'm going to move my tool rest up a little bit. Keep checking that. And I'm going to increase speed a little bit. Ooh, excuse me. And we're getting close. There we go. That's getting pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to take a couple cuts. Now I need to go this way because that's the way the grain is going. So we're going to finish off with that. Let's see how we did. That's much better. Okay, there's still a little ways to go yet, but now I'm going to turn a tenon on this end. And for that, I'm going to just use a parting tool. And I'm pretty sure that that'll do it. I'm just going to Here, let's, I should have my gauge here, but I don't. Actually, I don't have a gauge for my chucks. 2¼ Yep, that's going to work perfectly. Okay. Just want a little shoulder that I can butt up against the jaws of the chuck. Okay, and I think that's it. So I've got it roughed out now and a tenon on one end. And then I'm going to put the chuck on and spin it around, and away we go. So I'll bring you back for that. Okay, and we're back. So I've got the tenon mounted in the chuck. I don't know if you're going to see it much decently from this camera angle, but notice how I have that the upright part of the tenon touching the face of the jaws. That is super, super important. I'm going to turn another tenon on this end, and then we're going to drill a hole for the bolt. So away we go. Oh, I thought it was actually touching here. Squeaks a little bit when I have both ends in the chuck like that. Now, for some of you, if you're turning with chuck with tapered jaws, like my Nova G3 has those, I think all Novas do. The one way I have the serrated jaws, which I like, I tend to turn this should be 90 degrees here, but if you have a different chuck, you might want to slope this wall a little bit more like that. You can see that. Okay, and I'm just going to true up this end here just a little bit. There we go. That looks wonderful. Okay, then we're going to take the tailstock out of the way, and I'm going to drill the hole. Now I'm going to drill this hole, excuse me, with this. This is the cordless drill that I made. I just put a keyless chuck on the end of a handle that I turned, and this works really good for drilling holes. So I'm hoping that I can sneak around here, and maybe we'll do this from the other side, which is a little bit strange, but then here I'm going to turn the speed way down. It's a little wobbly. There we go. And there we go. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to spin it around again. Actually, I'm going to just clean up a little bit here. And I noticed that this is a little loose. That's why it was squeaking like it was. Okay, well, okay. I'm just going to, oh, that'll be okay for this. I just want to take this little, there. That's going to be the finished top of the leg. So, there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to slide this cone up to there, and then we're going to turn it. That way the center, the hole I drilled is guaranteed to be center of the leg if I do it that way. Okay, bear with me. And we're back again, a little bit of a change in your view. Hopefully this is a little better. Getting back to what I was talking about with the shoulder of the tenon. This shoulder has to rest on the face of the jaws of the chuck. That is critical. And it needs to be engaged tight all the way around. You got to spin it and check it. Okay, that is super important because that's going to make sure that your piece is true in the lathe. So, yeah, that's just something I said I'd show you, and I just did. So we'll put that chuck away. Okay, the size. So what I did is now I'm going to start going off the one that I turned, and that's going to be that diameter at the top, and we're pretty much there already, so that would be good. The nice thing about doing replicas or doing quantities of these legs is this isn't super important. If I mess up on the diameters as I turn this, it's not a big deal. Nobody's ever going to see the ones in back especially. So this is a really, really good practice project. And I'm going to set that there, and we're going to get this right. Okay, the leg is exactly, I'm going to try to turn exactly 6 inches here. So I'm going to put a tape measure on here, and I'm going to make a line at 6 inches. And then, and where did I put it? Ah, there it is. We're going to take the skew, the parting tool, and we're going to basically define my turning area here, which I think is another important thing to do. So we're going to, yes, I can see that. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Maybe give it a little bit of a reinforcing mark. There we go. And then I'm going to start I'm just a little bit long on the mark. I want to try to get this part fairly accurate. Yeah, it's a 16th long. Okay, so that's going to be good for right now. And there we go. I'm going to fine tune that for length right at the more towards the end. But now what I want to do is, okay, I'm not going to go up there much more. That's pretty much right on. With a little bit of sanding, that's going to be perfect. And I'm going to sand with 100 and then a little bit with 180, and then we're going to throw some shallow wax on here. Okay, and there we go. We're going to go with that. And we've got a little bit to take down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get close to that diameter with the parting tool, and we're just about there. That'll do. Okay, now we've got our parameters defined. Now I'm going to start about here and then eventually move up to about there and blend this down to there. For this, I'm going to be using the Skew right-handed most of the time. One of the things you can't see with this piece, maybe you can there. See, the grain is going this way, and when I go this way, I'm actually causing some tear out. So sometimes if the piece is in the other way, then it would be better to turn the whole thing left-handed, but this way it's probably better right-handed. So away we go. Okay, I'm going to start, rub the bevel, and I'm going to move back a little bit. If it starts to bounce like that, there's a couple of things you can do. Is first of all, maybe experiment with changing the angle that you're cutting at. Second thing would be to push down into the rest. Anchor the tool a little better. Okay, now one thing I haven't shown you yet, and to be honest, this used to scare me, is using the skew with the long point down. Okay, I don't know about this as much, but it's the same thing. It's rub the bevel, get it cutting, and it works really nice. Now, if you can see that, I had to cut a little low on the tip that time. That's why I found turning so incredibly hard to teach at times, because while I'm talking, I'm making small micro manipulations with my hands. And to convince a student that, okay, well, all I did was I rotated my wrist 2 degrees. That's too precise. You can't teach like that. That long point down actually works really well. I don't do it that often. To be honest with you, I was a little scared of that technique because I got used to going this way. But this works really nicely. Now, the problem with that is, like on my tool, it's got a nice rounded edge. Here, they're not rounded, and it's a little, I noticed a little more awkward on the tool rest when I was turning. But that worked really well. So I think we're to the point, though, where we've got our basic shape. So I'm going to grab some 100 grit sandpaper. Okay, did I move things too badly here? Oh, I think that should still be okay, hopefully. Okay, I tend to be a 100, 180 type of sandpaper guy, so here we go. And basically what I'm doing, I'm just blending this a little bit, watching the horizon, making some fine-tuning adjustments here. Okay. All right. Oops. Okay, now what I think I'm going to do is I am going to turn the main part of the tenon off. And I'm just going to do that with the parting tool, and we're going to get it close. You know what? Oh, you know what, though? I'm getting a little ahead of myself. What I should do is finish sanding first. And for this, I'm just going to finish like this. Sand with the grain with my 180 grit. Yeah, I'm getting way ahead of myself. My goodness, we're going to do that yet, but we're going to basically finish this thing first. Okay, that's good enough for what I'm doing here. Yeah, like my tripod's in the way here. Can I wiggle this in? There we go. Okay, and I'm going to double check my measurements here. We're still a 16th over. Okay, that we can deal with. Okay, we're going to stop it. We're going to check it again. Oh, come on. I can't go too far down. Okay, I was still a little over. Oh, okay. Still a wee bit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save that for this end. That actually looks pretty good. I'm turning a slight little dish in the bottom, and I need to do a little bit of work there yet. It's getting a little high. Towards the center. That's better. I like that. Okay, and then, okay, this could be difficult again. I want to go back to the other side. Okay, let's see. Can I get that between the tripod? Ah, there we go. Okay, that should work. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of the tenon, at least part way. Then we're going to put finish on. Ooh, that's loud. Little bit of chatter. Okay, let's see what we have for length. I can live with that. Okay, we're sanded. We're good. I'm going to get this out of the way. And then we're going to take the rag and the shallow wax. Maybe not a great finish for this, but like I said, this is more of a utilitarian project. So, I got a lot on there. That's going to get messy. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it this way first. Because if I turn that on, we're going to have to take a break while I clean the finish off my glasses. Okay, so now we're going to turn this up. And we're going to crank up the speed. Get some nice heat going there. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, we're not spending a lot of time putting a pristine finish on here. It's a leg. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go a little bit further over here and just kind of break through to the 1/4 inch hole. But I have to be careful because I don't want to go too quickly, and I want to make sure I stop before I lose the end. And we're going to turn the speed down a little bit. Yeah. I think that's going to be it. Yep, perfect. Okay. I could take the other side out just a little bit more. It's about 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to do a little bit more there. I just like to cut as little as possible. There, that's just a hair over 1/4. Okay, and I think that's going to do it. Actually, you know what? I may just... That's a little weak. I'm just going to cut that off. Well, there you have it. I finished it off camera. I took the connector screw out of the little plastic leg and put it into this one, so I didn't have to buy anything there. And I took a piece of felt that I had, a kit that I bought years ago, way to use it up, and they seem pretty good. So I'm very happy with that. That's going to be nice. And it's going to make my couch, where you pretty much have to lie on the floor to roll into it, it's going to give it a little bit of height, which I think will be wonderful. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap on this little video that I'm showing you today. I would encourage you to take all your turning tools and learn to use them. The skew especially, people fear it. It's not to be feared. It's just if you don't ever use it, you just don't get comfortable with it. So I would encourage you to use it. Learn to use it. I really like turning baseball bats with the skew. I have some beautiful maple here, and they are awesome to turn. In fact, I should do that one day again. That is a fun turn. But so I've got 2 legs now out of 5, and another one's ready to go here. And I'm just going to set these out of the way, and I'm going to start going again. So please like and subscribe. It'd be wonderful to get a few more subscribers. That'd be great. And we'll probably have something Saturday or Sunday again. So hang in there. Yeah, we're approaching 60 videos, so that's awesome. Okay, take care. Have an awesome week. See you when we see you. But now it's time. There we go.